So, I'm Frank Turner, I'm here with Mr. Ginger Wildhearts. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
And I'm good, and we're going to talk about songwriting, but before we do that, as two people who've both been touring and heavily interviewed musicians, I think we can agree that there are certain interview questions which make you go, a little bit. Right?
I don't know, sometimes I prefer them, because you don't have to think.
I suppose, but I mean, I very nearly once got a T-shirt printed that said, "The tour is going fine, thank you."
My favourite colour
is...
is...
slowly unzip it and just do that at the start of the interview. And one of the other ones that, for me, comes up a lot, and I don't want to, I'm not like having to go at anybody who asks it, but it just seems like a misguided question to me. People say, when you're writing songs, what comes first, words or lyrics?
Yeah, that's another
and it's not a good question as a songwriter.
It's a question that no one who writes songs would pose.
Exactly.
Because everyone knows that there is no answer.
Nothing comes first. And I don't know about you, I don't really have like a methodology. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a process. It's not like making a pie or whatever. You don't sort of start with one thing and then move down a list of ingredients. I always think that songwriting is like fishing. By which I mean, you get yourself into a place where you're sitting on the edge of the bank and you're dangling some bait in the water. Some days you get a bite. Some days you don't get a bite. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's more like getting a really bad headache, and it can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing or how healthy you are or how good a diet you've got.
Yeah.
And I find songwriting to be exactly the same. Like, excuse me, but sitting on the bog, an idea, or you're walking past your guitar and your guitar's going, incoming.
Yeah. And certain guitars call to you more than others.
Isn't it? Isn't that funny? You'd get that as well.
Yeah.
So I don't write songs on any specific guitar. I always find the chords and stuff on an acoustic guitar. But lately I've been getting ideas on a bass guitar.
Oh, really?
I've never done before.
No, that's interesting. I was going to ask about whether you write with an acoustic or an electric or whatever, because, I think that your songwriting, broadly speaking, is rock music, shall we say? I think that's fair. And you tend, with the obvious exceptions, you tend to play electric and that kind of thing. But you write more on acoustic, would you say, finding chords and that kind of thing?
I write everything on acoustic.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
Apart from times when I don't write on the acoustic. Lately, I don't write on a guitar. I write it all inside.
Okay.
I let it percolate.
Yeah. Okay. I find that thing you said about headaches to be really fascinating to me, because I know what you mean. Sometimes it feels like you're about to sneeze.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, I know how this one goes.
Yeah.
And sometimes songwriting is like imagining what a song would be like that felt like that. And then you make it into a thing that hits that feeling that you had, and the feeling came first, right?
And it's the same about recording as well, in as much as it's the big block of stone that you're chipping away all the bits that aren't the girl inside.
Yeah.
And it's only you can see that.
Yes.
And other people think you're nuts.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I need...
Yeah. It's funny. So one of the things I want to talk about, talking as a fan.
I'm a fan as well.
Well, there we go. But like, one of the things I've always loved about your songwriting, this is a two-parter. You ready? Is that like, first of all, you cram so many ideas into a song, it makes me feel slightly embarrassed by my own songs. To take an example, the song Everlone has about 8 songs in it, right? And I mean that as a positive. There are bits in that where if I'd written it, I'd be like, well, that's going to be a whole song unto itself.
Yeah.
And you play it twice, and then you move on. And it's so good. And it's like, there are bits in it, it's like, how is that not just a whole fucking... Why did you not stop at that moment and go, like, that's a different song? Do you know what I mean?
It's funny because I think that song was the one that when we signed to East West Records, that's the one people were saying, why don't you just cut that song into different songs? And like, that's what is the shape of the song.
Yeah,
It's exactly what... And but you know you're going to run out of ideas. And we've just recorded the Wildhearts' most complicated record.
No, I know.
With so many fucking different ideas.
Yeah.
The one that we did, the one that we learned for this is the one that we can play without giving ourselves fucking hernia.
I think it's one of the distinguishing things about you as a songwriter, and I absolutely love it, is it's just an embarrassment of ideas going on all the time.
I think it comes from being a Cardiacs fan, and I was a huge Cardiacs fan, and there was no such thing as a song.
Yeah.
The Cardiacs had vibes.
Yeah.
And the song would be like a train journey through Vibesville. Right. And I've always thought of songs as being like that. When I was younger, and still as I listen as a fan now, I do like songs that don't get too bitty, too messy.
Yeah.
And they just stick to the point. But I find it impossible to write them songs these days.
Well, I mean, I love it the way it goes off. One thing I always think about songwriting, and this is one of the reasons I'm a big Kurt Cobain fan and a big Ginger Wildheart fan, and yes, I'm mentioning you in the same breath, is the following.
Well,
the middle 8 is when you sort the wheat from the chaff, right? Any given song, right? Verse, chorus, all good. Everyone's having a nice time. What are you going to do with the bridge? Is the bridge going to be just 8 bars of some random shit with someone playing guitar before we play another verse? Or is it going to go somewhere? Do you know what I mean? Is it going to take the ideas that you're already working with and do something interesting, say something new, take you in a different direction on a different part of the journey, right? And you always fucking do that.
But when you're in a key, you know where the bridge is. Now, do you call it a bridge or a middle eight? Because I used to call the pre-chorus a bridge.
Yeah,
Till I realised that's not...
I've recently lost all confidence in my terminology on this because...
in a way, though, people say chorus, and I'm like, which one? It's like, there's not really one chorus.
Okay, but that's another thing I love about Wildhearts. There are songs that have like 3 different stages of chorus. I fucking love that.
I love that.
Yeah, but it's also, it's so kind of like ballsy in a good way. It's just like, there's this bit. A normal song, right? We call this a chorus. Nah, fucking with you. It was just the pre-chorus. Here's the actual chorus. And then you're like, oh my God. And you're like, here's the bridge. Could have been a chorus of a normal person's song. Do you know what I mean? The other thing I wanted to bring up as well, this is perhaps on the technical side of things, I feel that at some point in the last 20 years, modern popular songwriting, and I don't mean pop music, but modern popular songwriting, got very monochromatic in terms of key. And I am 100% guilty of this myself. I generally, if I'm writing a song in A, I'm in A for the whole song. And that's it. And I'm playing an A, D, E, I might play an F sharp minor. If I'm feeling fancy, I'll play a G. Do you know what I mean?
Other than that bridge where you go to C.
No, but this is it. No, that's where you go to C. And like, you have one of the things for me is that changing key convincingly in a song that doesn't make a layperson go, oh, he's changed key there. And like, your stuff changes key fucking all over the shop, but it's always in a way where the top line melody carries it, right? Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. Well, somebody's got to stick to the last part to make it convincing. You can't just go off on a tangent.
Well, you can, but then it makes everyone go, oh, they've changed key. And what I love about a lot of your stuff is that I will listen to it and go, that's great. And then if I'm ever trying to figure out the chords, I'm like, hold on a minute, there's a fucking different key.
Yeah,
all of a
it's
sudden.
a nightmare, especially when we used to do the birthday gigs, and I give everyone an easy song, and they'd just be fucking giving me such a. It wasn't fucking easy. There's 20 bits in it, and I'm like, yeah, but the 20 bits that sound similar.
Yeah.
But you know, it's all the Beatles, and I've come to this conclusion that it doesn't matter if you like the Beatles or you like the Nirvana. Who came from or Cheap Trick, who came from the Beatles. It's all the Beatles. And you hear Beatles songs, you just go, they did it first. They even did the classic, the punk riff was done by them in about 1968 or something.
Yeah. I do know what you mean. I mean, personally, I have, as I've got older, I've got a massive taste in country music.
Okay.
A lot of which arguably comes from the Beatles. But like recently, I've just been buried in George Jones, for example. Yeah. And there's a simplicity to the form. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like Robert Frost poetry. It's just like 4 lines that are perfectly
and it's internal rhymes. So Dolly Parton's the queen of all of that.
Oh yeah.
She'll put so many rhymes that you go, now I've got to do that many rhymes because you do it so well. The standards being set.
I'll tell you what, as a writer, actually, I sometimes have a thing where I write like the first stanza, if you like, of a country feeling lyric that has all the internal rhymes. And then you're like, I've got to fucking do it again in the second verse, haven't I? And then it's just like, for me, second verses are the killer. They're always the last part of a song that I write is the second verse. You write the first verse, doing well. Yeah. Write chorus, doing well. Sing the same, first verse again in the second verse. Yeah. Second chorus, write your bridge, write your conclusion, all the rest of it, and then you get into studio and you're like, oh fuck, I haven't written the second verse yet.
Have you got a dog?
No, I've got a cat.
I walk my dog for that second verse.
Oh, okay.
I get the idea for the first verse, and so by the second verse, it's got to be as good as the first verse.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of unknowing that people are expecting it to be a bit worse. It's got to be, in fact, it's got to top the first verse. And I get all of those ideas from walking my dog. Nice. But the country thing, talking about the country thing, it's like, if you're a real songwriter, you go to country. Yeah. Eventually. And it's because finding a terminology and then turning it round to sound like you. And I'm good friends with Dan Baird, who played in Georgia Satellites. And he's my kind of go-to Nashville guy. Right. And he is the best at thinking of just a turning a phrase around. Yeah, but so much of the time it's like a common expression. Gotta be. You then find a different angle on. Serious rock music it's a common chord progression or a kind of riff that works if you're going to be heavy. With country, it's kind of like there's a gold standard of like how to get a great country title, and just fitting that title in the chorus is just It's never milking it.
But but it's the classic thing, which is that it sounds easy once it's done.
Yes.
And if it was easy, everyone would fucking do it. Yeah,
if it was
totally.
easy, everyone would be Dolly Parton.
Well, exactly. So another thing I want to talk about, first lines. I'm obsessed with first lines of a song. Like, you've got to, because it's the moment when you, like, tap the listener on the shoulder and say, listen here. This is what I'm talking about. I have a friend called Sean who's in a band called AJJ, who's the king of the opening line. If you don't know their stuff, I'll send you some.
Please do.
He's got a song. I mean, they've got this brilliant song about like throwaway music critics, and the opening line is, "We didn't come here to rock. We just came to disappoint you." Which, you know what I mean? And you hear that and you're like, right, I'm fucking paying attention now. Like, whatever's coming next.
Well, the Hoodoo Gurus are a big fan of an Australian band called the Hoodoo Gurus. And they're just great songwriters. But they were going through a little bit of a shallow patch. And they brought this album out that was just them back in whether they had drug problems or they got rid of them. But the first line of the first song is, "And another thing." And I just thought, well, I'm never going to beat that.
Yeah, that's
the standard.
Sensational.
Well, so one of the songs on the new Wildhearts album, I wrote all these lyrics when I was pissed out my head, which I never ever do. Don't know about you.
Yeah, I have often found the idea. So you and I both have indulged in that time, should we say? The whole myth that there's some link between that and creativity is problematic to me because whilst you might, I suppose, get ideas while you're out of your head, you never write wasted.
No.
Or at least you never write well wasted. Do you know what I mean?
I never do. But one of these songs, it's the one that gets everyone, makes everyone kind of emotional. And the first line is, "I miss this like I miss my dead friends." And it's just like that could, if it was for me, that would mean nothing. But the fact that everyone's heard this, giving it that.
That's fucking great, man.
That's something better than I'm capable of doing. What do you think about that when you're writing all these songs and you just pull them out the air? And if everyone could do it, sometimes I feel guilty taking credit.
I know what you mean, because sometimes it feels like you're just uncovering something that was there anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what I mean?
Or something's been piped in.
Yeah.
It's so easy, it's being piped in.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell anyone, I wrote a song in 5 minutes. But you do sometimes.
You do every now and again. And sometimes they're the best ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes they're not. But.
But those ones, I think, there's something spiritual about it. And whatever you take on it, it's like there's even just energy. Different energies. Energy doesn't die. And there's different energies that make you could write a different song. The same song over there and a few hundred miles away, and you have two different songs.
Yeah.
I do believe there's something mystical about the art of songwriting.
I certainly think there's something that at the middle of it that you almost shouldn't try and examine too much.
Yes,
because
exactly.
you'll fucking kill it.
So and I'm just doing that, aren't I?
No, but I know exactly what you mean. There's right in the middle of it, there's a bit that you shouldn't look at too much. You just let it fucking do what it does. And so another thing I wanted to mention was like, you are in a very fecund creative part of your career. Do you know what I mean? You've got a new record that's as crazy and as out there as anything you guys have done, which is awesome. I read an interview years ago with Nick Cave, which made me feel a lot better. I love Nick Cave. He's fucking
great.
And he said every single time in his entire life he's ever finished a record, he felt like he was empty. And he'd scraped the bottom of the barrel and couldn't imagine ever writing another song. Yeah. Isn't that a relief to know that he feels that way as well? Do you feel like that?
I don't, because when I finish an album, I work on the one I've been writing while everyone else has been learning the songs for that album. I'm always 3 albums ahead.
Right.
Because we're recording the Wildhearts album. I've just mixed and mastered the solo thing I was telling you about with my band, The Sinners. And I went away to Yorkshire to write a 3rd album that I just like to have in the bag in case we need some money, and we put it out there. And it's something good quality, but it doesn't really fit anywhere.
Right.
But
okay. That's interesting. I every time I finish writing a record, I kind of go, that's it, I'm fucking done.
And I've always wanted to have that. I've always wanted to be empty of ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm still like possessed.
He's still not. Yeah. But within that then, like, you must have writer's block periods. You must have moments. Never. Really?
Never. I've got too many things in the bag, waiting to.
That's crazy. I
put ideas down on my phone, so I've always got 3 or 4 albums worth of stuff on my phone, and I keep thinking that's going to dry up at some point, and I won't have it. It never does.
But surely it's still a fear that haunts you on some level that one day the ideas will never come.
No.
Really? Because I mean, I haven't ever had like a really extended period of writer's block, but I've had 2 or 3 months where I don't really pick up a guitar and write anything new.
Oh yeah, I have times where I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
I don't bother.
Okay.
I never try to push it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do you sit down with the guitar and go, come on, Do it.
No, not really. One thing I do occasionally is that, like, talking about, and there's a part of me that's a bit weird about this because it's a bit forced, but like writing exercises, as in, sometimes it's like, I'm going to write a song a day for 3 days. And the first two will be fucking dire. And then the third one might be something. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's great. And working out.
But just giving yourself, like, because I quite often find if you give yourself like barriers, limitations, then you can. Because sometimes if you've got the entire world in front of you and no limitations, then what the fuck are you going to write?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you kind of say to yourself, you know, either I'm going to write a song in this period of time, or I'm going to try and write a song that feels like a song by George Jones, or whatever it might be. You give yourself a bit of direction ahead of time, and then later on you might relax that and take it away once you've kind of got your groove on with a song. But I'm fascinated that you're not a writer's block, man.
No,
It's troubling me.
I went to Yorkshire recently to write an album. I wanted to get away and be like with nature, and I was like, what am I going to write about when I get there? And before I got there, I was pulled up by 2 police vans because I got reported for reckless driving because I was driving within the speed limit of a place that obviously everyone knows each other and they all drive beyond the speed limit because there's no cameras. And I'm like, first time I've been there, and before I'd even got to the place to write, I had a story of being pulled up by these police.
For obeying the law.
For obeying the law. Yeah. and it's, I guess, I somewhere along being a little kid and wanting to do this for life, I must have wanted an interest in life. Not a great one, and not the sort of life that anyone else would want to have, but an interest in life on my terms. And I have got that. That's why I never, ever run out of ideas.
Right.
And then that little melody you've cut on the phone, you're like, ah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So there's times where I feel a little bit like there's a part of the songwriting process which is a little bit like working in a scrapyard doing cut and shut jobs. As in, you've got a lyric, oh, that's pretty good, and then you remember, oh, I've got that 4-note thing that I wrote fucking months ago. What if I go like this? And then sometimes it goes...
And now that's what I want to talk to you about.
Right.
I went to this place and I had a guitar part that I'd done so many years ago, I forgot about it. And I've been messing with my little boy who's now learning bass with this lovely little lick that we're playing. And I listened to this part again when I was in Yorkshire, and the bass thing, I tuned the strings a little bit different, and every single note worked like it was supposed to happen like that. I had no idea, and that kind of mystery, is this fucking witchcraft, or is this just, obviously you can't say, I'm that good, that, you know what I mean?
No, totally, but I mean, it's like, I think that, I read somewhere that like, a lot of the time people divide songwriting into art and craft, right? Or the old adage about 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration, all the rest of it. And I get that, but I think that inspiration is a thing that you can cultivate and work on, which is by putting yourself in the way of it. Do you know what I mean? You learn how to be open to those kind of
Woody
ideas.
Allen said, 50% of getting the job is turning up.
Right, yeah.
Putting yourself in positions where
which then brings me to one of my favourite quotes about songwriting. So I think this story is a little bit apocryphal, but never mind. Legend has it, when Steve Earle was about 15 years old, he ran away from home and went and found Townes Van Zandt, right? And I've got Townes Van Zandt's initial on mine. He's one of my all-time favourites. And legend has it, he said to Townes, I want to be a songwriter like you. How do I be a songwriter like you? And Townes said, you've got to arrange your life in such a way that you can pack up and leave, given half an hour's notice. And then you've got to live your life in such a way that you need to do that every now and again. Oh. What a fucking line. I mean, I've already nicked it for a song. But, like, do you know what I mean? What a fucking line. Yeah. And it's true. I mean, that's kind of what you were saying about, like, living a certain type of life that gives you... puts you in the way of inspiration. Right?
And I think that's part of having a skill of doing something and then being in the best position to carry out that skill. And I think if you are questioning yourself, then it's maybe not something that you're meant to do. And if it's something that you're meant to do, it'll happen all the time. And when I hear people having writer's block and not being able to write for 2 years, I'm like, well, you've either made too much money, you're too fucking satisfied with things, but there's something you're doing wrong. Because when you were shitting it out the back, it's, times were harder. Yeah. And I don't think it's anything to do with money, but I do see a lot of people going cold when they get success. I'm glad you don't do that at all, on any level. But
I think the thing is, like, a lot of the time for me, art, generally, songwriting, however you want to put it, is a way of making sense of the world. So if the world is making quite a lot of sense anyway, you don't need... your drive to do it. I mean, what I'm trying to avoid saying is the old fucking cliche about you've got to be sad to write good songs, which I think is bollocks.
No, but you've got to be a reporter on the human condition.
Yeah, you've got to, something's got to be bothering you somewhere on some level.
Yeah.
You've got to have an itch.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have an itch about anything in your life, and if you don't, fucking good for you.
Yeah.
Well done.
Just don't waste time writing songs.
Yeah, just
paint pictures.
Yeah, right. You know, just put off that third record for a little bit.
I think there's got to be and it's hard to just call it misery, but there's got to be disruption in your life.
Yeah.
And it's of a type of disruption, like Townes Van Zandt said, where you can just, I'm good with this, stay back, I've got this one.
Yeah. And I do think that, like, and this is where there is a sort of correlation between kind of, like, touring lifestyle. For me, I'm not sure this is universal, possibly for you as well, between, like, touring lifestyle and songwriting lifestyle, just in the sense that one of the things about having toured for most of my adult life, same as you, is that, like, you just get very good at just kind of making do or getting used to whatever the fuck's going on. It's like the bus has broken down, you've got to get in a van and drive across Finland, and you kind of go,
adventure!
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You either go, okay, or you go, fucking right.
On that armour, me and the guitar player from Courtney Love's band used to love that. So we got the Target thing and adventure, because that's what we'd invariably do in America, is look for adventure and always find a target.
I'll tell you what, man, this is not related to what we're talking about, but fuck it, the story. Yeah. I've got a friend called Will Varley, who's a songwriter, amazing songwriter. We were touring the States together. It was a day off, but a travel day, so we didn't like stay in a town. We drove overnight, woke up, spent a day off in a town, and then drove again that night. We were in like a butt-fuck tiny little town somewhere in Nebraska. And me and him went, do you want to go and find a bar? And we went and found a bar where there was an open mic night, right? Not on purpose, not on purpose. And as we walked in, they heard our English accents and they were like, what the fuck? But not in a bad way, but they were just like, what are you doing here? Yeah. And then, like, Will got up and did a song, and he's incredible, and like just shushed the room. Do you know what I mean? And then I did a song as well. And then eventually they just basically, because it was all the same regulars, it turned into a gig. But not even we ditched the stage, we all just sat around, there was about 15 people there, just swapping stories, telling, and
the Irish way.
And just drinking all together too much whiskey. Yeah. And those are the moments. It's like the snapshots. Do you know what I mean? And that's where songs come from.
Them little Irish pubs that everyone who's been playing that day just comes along to the pub, brings the thing because they've got it. Yeah. They bring the fiddle or they bring the acoustic guitar, and he just turns into a fucking. Someone starts singing "Country Roads Take Me Home," and I say, "I'm in."
Yeah. Well, okay. So that then takes me to. There's a thing. I'm gonna try and put this right. We live in a strange time, just had a year off the road. No one quite knows how it's all going to come back. It will come back, but I think the transition period between here and there is going to be weird, or at least a lot weirder than some people think it is. Now, I've got a bit of a theory, right? And I want to rope you in on this theory. Right. And I'm doing this on camera, so you're fucked now.
I'm curious.
Well, it's just that basically, right, all of the things that go around what you and I do for a living normally, I'm talking about tour buses and booking agents and promo schedules and on-sale dates and liners and do you know what I mean? Just all that sort of shite, which is necessary and good, and it's part of the gig and all the rest of it, and you do it for a reason, is going to just be less important for a minute, because I think it's going to be more about people just like rocking up on a beach with a guitar and their mates and playing, and just like, there doesn't have to be in a venue with like an age restriction policy and a photo pit with first 3 passes. It's more going to be like standing on a fucking box outside a pub.
The whole VIP thing, I hope, dies.
Yes, me too.
I hope the whole Live Nation and Ticketmaster bullshit.
But I mean, basically, what I'm saying is, this summer I can just see people just kind of gathering in a really organic way to just enjoy music. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, do you want to do some gigs outside a pub, in a pub garden?
Yeah, with you.
Yeah. Just fucking guitars. Just
absolutely.
You heard it here first.
That sounds like great
Because
fun.
what it will be is taking it back to what it's supposed to be, right? Which is
telling stories.
Yes.
And the monks get the credit for this, but it was songwriters that went from town to town telling them about the huge bloke in the last town. You want to watch him. But monks all got they're supposed to be the first storytellers. So it was done in the tradition of song.
I thought you were about to be telling me about a punk band I didn't know about called the Monks.
Well, there is a punk band called the Monks. Yeah.
And they get all the credit. Awful. All the time when I'm talking to this guy, he pulls out stuff out the locker that I don't know about, and I feel like I don't know.
And it's just because I've lived twice as long as he has.
Oh, not twice as long.
Almost twice as long. Feels like it.
No.
I actually asked you the other day, talking about going off script. I asked you, do you ever get do you ever just want to give it all up? Do you, knowing that you can't at this point,
Yeah.
you're stuck with it. You're pregnant, and that's, that's kind of one of that's how I feel when I get a song. It's like you start getting pregnant with a new album, but you can't get out of it. But you do go, I wish I could just make fucking tea.
Yeah.
Or go
I do know what you mean. Yes, absolutely. One thing I would say is that I have spent quite a lot of the last 15 years thinking to myself, it might be interesting for me as a writer, let's say, to take a year off the road and go and like live in Paris. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that, and do some potential like that. We've just had a year off the road forced.
And you still haven't done it?
No, I promise I'll never have a stupid fucking idea like taking a year off the road ever again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've done it now and it was rubbish. And I want to go back on tour.
Yeah. And it really has made a lot of people grateful, as frustrating as it's been, to have something you can still do and on my level still pay for a family.
Yeah.
And this is just, I did this because I like it and I want to do it. But the people that are my supporters, my community, whatever you call it, I don't like calling people fans. I've never liked it, and I still
a weird
don't
word.
like
It smells
it.
of Marie Antoinette to me. The word fan. Do you know what I mean? It's
It's perfume on shit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just talking down to people.
It's the thing,
anyway.
But they've allowed me to feed my family making music. So right now, I've got no say in it. I can say like I want to quit, but I've got a bunch of people out there that won't let me quit. How fucking lucky am I?
I think yes. Well, this is a good place to wrap up on this, but like luck is the thing. I've often found myself so many times where you're playing guitar and you're singing, and you're like, I'm getting paid for this, and I'm in. The last time I had this springs to mind, we did the Flogging Molly cruise. I was on a fucking cruise ship playing guitar.
Will you please ask me, Flogging Molly, to do that?
Well, because they're all fans anyway. We'll get there. But it was just literally like I was just like, I can't believe this is happening, and there's also a little part of me that's like, I'd do this for free. Do you know what I mean? I'm playing guitar and singing. That's all the reward that you need, kind of thing. At which point my manager goes, "Shut the fuck up." Do you know what I mean? But it's like it is just such a privilege. Do you know what I mean?
And
to play guitar and sing.
And I've been able to write about my personal demons and mental health problems and has went out to help someone else going through the same thing. That kind of synchronicity, I'm all about that. That makes me feel really fucking fortunate.
Yeah.
I've got something.
I'm sure you can think of an example of this, but like one thing, like if you're singing a song which, to paraphrase, is essentially like I'm a fucked up dickhead or whatever, right? That's your subject matter for the day. And if a crowd's singing it back at you, I always think to myself, are you guys sympathising or agreeing? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Are you sitting there saying, "Oh, we're fucked up assholes too," or are they going, "Yes, you're a fucked up arsehole"? And it's always a little bit like, oh, I don't know how this is.
Well, I think you get the supporters that you deserve. If you stick in this for long enough, and you seem like an honest person that's doing it for with a bit of integrity, then I do think the people that stay with you are the ones that do agree with you. And on the human condition is like as you get older, your opinions are changing and they're changing. Your core audience of getting older.
I'm often like humbled to the point of speechlessness by some of the people who've like, let's say over a 10-year period of like, as you're saying, they've effectively like paid my bills and all the rest of it by coming to loads of shows. And you're just a bit like, because would you agree with this? Like, I'm a bit like, how can I repay you? And they will say, but you've already done it.
Keep doing what you do. Don't die.
Yeah, right. But it's just funny because it's not that I want to say that the art that we create feels meaningless to me in any way, but it's just a bit like, but you're like paying for my, you're buying tickets and t-shirts.
But I'm a huge music fan as well, so I get the commitment.
But it's just a difficult thing to put, because for me, like, I'm any fucking band you want to pick, but let's say Black Flag, like I'm an enormous Black Flag fan, but like I don't put myself in the shoes of Black Flag in my mind. That's a weird thing to do. Do you know what I mean? So there's always going to be, and in a way there should be that slight disjoint, because if you walk around holding yourself in the same mental category as your own heroes, you've just built up your own art.
You're just copying them,
Yeah, well, and you're probably an insufferable dickhead. But we've gone way off topic and this is great. This is the thing that I love, is still having heroes. I never, ever want to get fucking jaded about meeting somebody in a band who I listened to when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? I never want to not be like, holy fucking shit.
I like my heroes
to
be consistent, like Sparks. Sparks were one of the first things I ever got like really into, and they inspired me to write songs about a toothbrush or a razor and a mustache. You know, I'll write a song about a mustache because Sparks do it, but they're still doing it 31, 32 albums in.
32 albums?
Yeah. Frank Zappa had 72.
Fucking hell.
I'm going for that fucking...
How many are you on now?
I don't know. I don't even know. You know what? That's a good question.
This is
How
the
many
second
albums have I
time
written?
we've tried to crowdsource statistics about your career today.
I want to know how many songs I've written, how many albums I've written.
Are you going for 72?
I'm going for as many as I want to do. That they don't feel forced.
That is a very good answer to that question.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's been a lot of fun.
Brilliant. Yes,
I'm not
excellent.
fucking-
Fuck COVID.
We've had tests.